Hi, I'm Sharon Bill, back again to talk to you about scales and how to practically perform those on the piano. We're going to look at F major now. Now F major is the first of the scales in the progression of scales that has a flat in the key signature. If you want to know why that is, have a look at my tutorial on the construction of the major scale, and that explains why we need to replace certain keys with flats or sharps. And there's also a progression called the circle of fifths, so you can look at that one too. That's a little formula to show you how to work out what the key signatures will be for all of the scales. All of the other flat scales will then have flat in the title, and so it's pretty obvious that they are a flat key. You'll have B flat major, E flat major, A flat major. F major is the first of these scales to have a flat in the key signature, but it doesn't have a flat in the title. However, I always just remember, if you think F for flat, and then you can soon remember that F major has a flat in it. Now, because of that flat, the standard fingering that we've looked at in C major and many of the others of 3-4-3 won't work in the right hand, because if we begin with our thumb on note F and try and tuck under after 3, that's really not a comfortable manoeuvre to get to the flat. It's not going to work out. We'll start straight away at 2 octaves now, because we're on to the sort of more advanced scales, and really it's actually easier to play in 2 octaves because you get time to establish the fingering pattern, and there aren't many occasions when you only want to play a scale 1 octave. So we'll crack straight on to 2 octaves. And the only thing really you need to remember that's different, it's not difficult, it's just different, is that fingering pattern for F major right hand 2 octaves is tuck under after 4, 3, 4. And then you just need to watch out at the end of the scale, because we don't actually end up using our little finger. You'll come to the end of the scale and finish on 4. You won't actually be using your little finger at all. So let's have a little look at that very slowly, step by step. Pardon the pun, bearing in mind a scale is literally step by step. And here we go. So F major with B flats in the key signature. So we want our 4 on that flat. Now we need to tuck under all the way to get from B flat to C. We don't want to hit the B key because we've already represented that in the scale with a B flat, and we don't want to represent the B key twice. So we've got to get all the way to the C here. Unwrap your fingers, don't miss any fingers out. Now tuck again after 3. And so we have our thumb back on the key note, the tonic, or the first of the scale, F. And so we're back to now needing finger 4 for this flat. Tuck again all the way to the C. Unwrap your fingers and finish on note F with finger 4. You don't need your little finger at all. Now, because you've finished on finger 4, it kind of feels like you've done the 4 part of the fingering pattern, but you haven't. So as you come down in step, remember it's 4 over in the flat. You just happen to finish on 4 there. You've not done the 4 part of the fingering pattern. So you need the 4 part for this section. Now the 3 over and 4 over to your flat. Although I need to know that the fingering pattern for F major is 4-3-4 and it's got B flats, and intrinsically that's it, I prefer to visualise pictures of what's going on in the keyboard, and it helps me to remember that we've got the 4s in the flat area. So 4s and flats works quite nicely in F. There we go. And then we've got the 3s in this small C, D, E area. Of course we need our thumb for the home key, so there's another clue to watch out for, and we're back to the 4s, threes. It would then tuck again, but because we're going to finish at 2 octaves, we just finish it here to end the scale. Let's do that one again and just look out for that visual picture and see if that helps you as well. Here we go then. F major, 2 octaves right hand. There's our 4 on the flat, tuck under. This is our 3 section. We need thumb on the home key, F. This is our 4s on the flat section. And just finish. Reverse that process, descending now. So this is our 4s on the flat section. 3s in this middle section here. 4 over onto this flat section to finish. Now in your left hand, of course, we're still going to need B flats, otherwise it won't be F major, it will be F something else. So we need B flats to make the F major scale. However, the fingering pattern is the standard 3-4-3 in the left hand. And if you look at that, you'll see how that works out in the same visual pattern of 3s here, 4s here. Okie dokie. It isn't necessarily 4 on the flat itself, but it's in that flat section. I see that group there as a section, and that's our 3 section there. Ultimately though, all you need to remember is there's B flats and left hand is 3-4-3 just as usual. So let's have a go. Beginning on F with your little finger. So it's 3 over to begin with. Home is thumb on F. This is our 4 over now. Up to the flat. Make sure you get all the way to the C. 3 over and finish. Back we go down. 3 under. This is our 4 section under, so that your thumb is on the key note of F. This is our 3 section tuck under, B flats, and finish. Let's have another look. 3 over, 4 over, 3 over, 3 under, 4 under, 3 under. So you're just playing 3-4-3 fingering pattern, including B flats as you go along. Let's have a go at that together. Now this is where I find that visualising those groups helps me most, because the fingering pattern is going to be 4-3 and alternate that way. But I find it easy to just see those groups. Let's have a little go. So your right hand will tuck after 4, but your left hand will be 3 over, because of the way that this fingering pattern's had to change in your right hand. Here we go, we'll go slowly. So we've got to our flat, 4 in the right hand we need to tuck under, right leads the way. Now 3 over in your left, 3 under in your right now, because we want thumbs on F, our home note needs thumbs. Now your left hand's going to need 4 for this section, and your right hand's got 4 in this section on the flat, so we want both thumbs stretch under to get to your C. So we're tucking under after 4 in your right, but then we're 3 over with your left in this little section here. Finish, and so tucking under, your left's going to lead now. 3 under, but your right hand's going to go 4 over onto the flat. Now 4 in your left, under, thumbs on the home note of F. 3 under in your left. Now 4 over onto the flat in your right. It's not immensely difficult, it's just a little bit different. It's a bit outside the norm of what we've perhaps got used to playing with the standard 3-4-3 fingerings, but it does fit quite nicely under your fingers once you've given it a little bit of a practice, so that's quite good. Let's have another go and let's get it flowing musically. Because of the fingering patterns, we don't want an accent. We don't want a clunk or a lump every time we hear our thumb. So let's put the accents in a musical place so it flows rhythmically. Let's think in twos. Here we go. And there we have F major, 2 octaves, hands together. So now let's look at F major in contrary motion. So we're going to be playing in hands together but in opposite directions. Now, because of the right hand fingering being 4 on the flat, we're going to need 4 in this hand to begin with, whereas we're going to need finger 3 tuck under in this hand. So we're going to be working with an opposite fingering pattern. I remember the visual pattern of finger 4s are in this bit and then finger 3s are in this bit. And obviously we can't look in opposite directions at the same time, so I tend to concentrate on the left hand and just give a quick glance to the right hand here. If you find it particularly difficult to even consider starting that hands together, I suggest you begin with your left hand, but rather than going ascending and then descending, begin at the top in the direction that you would for contrary motion and just practice 4, 3, back upwards. This is your 3s section, 4s here, 3s here. You can run through the right hand again if you want. 4 on the flat for right hand. This is your 3s section. Thumb always on your key note, F. 4 on your flat. Finishing with finger 4, little finger isn't used. Back down we go. 4 over on your flat. 3 over in this section. 4 over on your flat. And you're home. And now you can have a go hands together. Practice that hands separately as many times as you feel more comfortable, and then slowly hands together. Begin sharing your thumbs on F, and we're going to go in opposite fingering patterns. 3 under in your left with 4 in your right. Now 3 under in your right, 4 under in your left. So you've got both thumbs on your key note. We need your thumb to be on the home note. So your left hand will be 3 under. Right hand is 4 on the flat. Tuck under now. And finish. Finger 4 in your right hand. You don't use your little finger, but you finish with your little finger in the left hand. So let's bring it back inwards. 4 over on your flat in the right. Now 3 in the left over. Now 3 over in the right, 4 over in the left, 4 over on your flat in the right, 3 over in your left. It's a little bit different, but it's not particularly difficult, it's just different, and of course it just requires a little bit of practice. Let's have one more go. F major, hands together in contrary motion, 2 octaves. I hope that you found that helpful. It's always down to practice, regular practice, breaking things into small chunks, building it back together. However, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's quite enjoyable. Just don't do it as if you've got clock watching with a train to catch. Give yourself a bit of time, carve some time aside. There's no sense of rush, and you can just take your time and learn gradually by your mistakes. I hope that that's been encouraging to you and helpful. If so, if you could hit the like button, that'd be great. That would encourage me also. And then if you want to keep a track on all the things that I've got coming, if you could like and subscribe to my channel, you'll be sure not to miss out and you'll be ready for the next thing. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye.